Thomas arrived at the new library station. "We didn't visit any sights," puffed Thomas sadly. "I had to take James's passengers to Maithwaite Station, Emily's flour to the bakery, and pull Percy out of the water." "I shall write all about your day, Thomas, and how you helped your friend." And Thomas was delighted. And the engines all listened as Thomas and his friends on the magical island of Sodor. "The new engine is waiting for you at the shunting yards," tooted Thomas. "I can't wait to meet him," puffed Emily, and she chuffed away as fast as her boiler could bubble. Luckily, he stopped just in time. "Maybe I can't be faster than Spencer," he chuffed, "but I can still be shinier and stronger." Later, Thomas chuffed into the coaling plant, and Thomas puffed closer. Bill and Ben were right, thought Thomas. Hector is scary, and Hector is horrid. Thomas decided to keep away. Thomas spent the morning shunting the other freight cars and filling them with coal. All the time, Thomas could feel Hector the Horrid watching him. The coaling plant manager came to see Thomas. "You must shunt and fill Hector." Later, Rosie puffed into the yard. She saw Hector. "Wow." "Yes," puffed Thomas, "but he doesn't want to be shunted. His name is..." But before Thomas could finish, Rosie was so surprised she shook from funnel to footplate. And this made Thomas cross. Hector had biffed and bashed Bill and Ben. He had shouted at Thomas, and he had frightened Rosie so much that she had puffed away. Now the extra delivery would never be ready. Thomas had had enough. He puffed up bravely in front of Hector and gave him a mighty biff. "No, I won't," tooted Thomas crossly. "You are causing confusion and delay. You really are horrid." Then, with one mighty biff, Thomas sent Hector. Thomas felt very bad. He hadn't meant to knock Hector over. Thomas puffed up to Hector. Hector lay on his side, looking very sad. Now Hector didn't seem so horrid. "I'm sorry I biffed you so hard," wheezed Thomas. "But why don't you want to be shunted?" "Why?" asked Thomas. "I'm new," he groaned, "and I'm scared because I haven't been filled with coal before. I don't know what it feels like." Thomas was surprised. Later, Rocky and the workmen arrived and lifted. Thomas wanted to help Hector. "Sometimes I'm scared when I have to do something new," he chuffed. "But coal isn't the coal hopper." Hector saw that Thomas was smiling. "See? It's not scary," tooted Thomas proudly. "We must hurry," puffed Thomas. Thomas pulled Hector quickly under the coal hopper. Hector was quickly filled with coal. It felt wonderful. Then Thomas shunted Hector into place, just in time. "Well done, Thomas," snorted James. James and Edward puffed away for their special deliveries. They were very surprised to hear Thomas whistle, "Good luck!" But the whistle wasn't for them. It was Thomas tooting to his new friend, Hector the Not Horrid at All. They help the engines to stay safe as they go about their work. Thomas arrived at Knapford Station. Henry was there. "I'm going to be in a magic show," puffed Thomas proudly. "That's exciting. I have to collect something for the grand finale. Something blue." "Well, that..." Then Thomas met Emily. "Look at my sailing boat, Emily," Thomas tooted. And Thomas knew he did. he heard a loud crunch. Thomas looked up. "Oh no!" cried Thomas. "The tall mast must have caught in the trees." Thomas couldn't move forwards or backwards. So he huffed and he chuffed, and with a mighty puff, the wind grew stronger. Thomas raced round a bend. "Be careful, Thomas," Molly tooted. But Thomas whooshed by so quickly he didn't hear her. They could see Thomas racing towards them, but Thomas couldn't slow down. The mayor, Sir Topham, and Lady Hat could not believe their eyes. Thomas whooshed past and raced away from them. Suddenly the wind dropped, and Thomas stopped. "Phew! If the wind picks up again, I'll never be able to stop at the harbor," he cried. "The boat will not be launched, and the mayor will be very cross." Thomas knew that he had been wrong not to wait for the engineer at the Topham Hat and Lady Hat were still waiting. They were happy to see the mayor's sailing boat. "Sail." "Aye, aye, sir," tooted Thomas. Thomas was very proud to be really useful. When he arrived at the docks, Diesel was there being unloaded. "And this is the most stinky Sodor cheese I have ever enjoyed." "Thank you, sir," puffed Thomas. "Now go to the washdown," added Sir Topham Hatt. Just then, Harry and Bert arrived at the docks. They were shiny, clean, and fresh from the washdown. And Bert, "Wee-hoo!" puffed Thomas. "What a stink!"